Okay, picture this. Before the billion followers, before the absolutely iconic Sioux celebration echoing in stadiums worldwide, there was just a skinny kid battling crushing poverty in Madeira. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to completely look past the highlight reels and unpack the actual architecture of a global icon. We're tracking the extraordinary journey of Cristiano Ronaldo, from a young boy literally struggling just to get by, to a man who basically rewrote the entire record book of his sport.
1 billion. Seriously, just let that number sink in for a second. That's the sheer scale of the empire Cristiano Ronaldo has built across his social media platforms. I mean, by hitting this milestone, he officially became the most followed person on Earth. He isn't just an athlete anymore, He's a literal one-man media empire. But to understand how he captures the attention of literally 1/8 of the entire human population, well, we gotta look at the very foundation of his mindset.
And that foundation, it's perfectly captured in his own words right here. This incredibly intense internal dialogue, it isn't something he just suddenly developed after winning his first Ballon d'Or. No, it started when he was just a kid. Imagine leaving your family at age 12 to join the Sporting Lisbon Academy. He was completely isolated in this incredibly demanding, super unfamiliar environment. He was deeply, deeply homesick, but he had to be his own biggest believer just to survive. He literally engineered this unapologetic self-belief just to make it through the day.
So that brings us to a massive question, doesn't it? How did a scrawny kid from absolute poverty, a kid who was, by the way, routinely ridiculed by older players just for being too skinny, how did he build the biggest personal empire in the world? It's so easy for us to look at him today and just assume, oh, it was all raw, God-given talent. But as we're going to see, this global dominance was actually forged through sheer will, intense curiosity, and an absolute rock-solid refusal to be outworked.
Just look at this contrast. When he first arrived at Manchester United, he was this skinny teenager with wild spaghetti hair, right? And his game was built almost entirely around just being an entertainer. He wanted to do endless stepovers, embarrass defenders, and hear the crowd gasp. But through relentless, frankly punishing discipline, he forged himself into the goal machine. He became a physically imposing, ruthlessly efficient box killer. His extreme longevity? Entirely driven by the hunt for trophies. He completely rebuilt his body and his entire approach to the game. So, what forced this incredible evolution? Why abandon the flashy showboating that made the fans cheer in the first place just to become something so incredibly clinical? Well, it absolutely wasn't an accident. Actually, it was a highly strategic, totally conscious pivot. He realized super early on that stepovers, they don't win you the Champions League. They don't win you the Golden Boot. As much as he loved putting on a show, he understood the real why behind the sport. If he wanted to be remembered as the absolute best in history, he had to perform in front of the net, plain and simple. He had to prioritize brutal efficiency over pure entertainment. And you know how he made that transition? Through the sheer power of curiosity. Arriving at Manchester United as an 18-year-old, he was suddenly surrounded by these seasoned veterans, guys who were 25 and older, hardened pros who had already won it all. Instead of letting his rising ego take over, he took a surprisingly humble approach. He constantly asked questions. Constantly. He actively studied their routines, their diets, their work ethic, basically strategically extracting their knowledge so he could build his own unstoppable game. And his success is built on this constant, ruthless adaptation. He deliberately shifted from being a fast, wide winger to a clinical box killer. When his raw pace inevitably began to fade because, hey, nobody beats time, right? Well, he didn't panic. He just studied and mastered new off-ball movements to outsmart defenders before they even knew what was happening. He completely overhauled his physical training and recovery to literally fight off aging. And through it all, his extreme competitiveness never wavered. He refuses to lose at anything, literally anything. Even a casual game of ping pong against his former teammates or his own kids, no mercy. That relentless drive really set the stage for his historic run at Real Madrid. At age 24, he arrives carrying the immense weight of being the world's most expensive player. The pressure was suffocating, but guess what? He used it as fuel. By the time he left at age 33, he was the club's all-time record goal scorer, securing 4 Champions League titles in that era alone. The skinny kid from Madeira walked right into the most demanding, unforgiving football environment on earth and completely conquered it. Okay, so what happens when you combine that level of on-pitch success with his specific, ultra-driven personality? You get a global commercial juggernaut. Academics actually study his brand using identity prisms like the one we're looking at here.
Looking at the physique dimension, his fitness isn't just for football anymore, it's a massive commercial vehicle. His personality, that extreme confidence and the iconic Suwoo celebration, makes him instantly recognizable worldwide. Culturally, he represents the ultimate aspirational nothing to something success story. And his relationship with the public? It basically turns a billion followers into deeply committed consumers of the CR7 brand. It's wild. And the real-world economic impact of that brand is absolutely staggering. His personal aesthetic and identity are so incredibly powerful that they practice what marketing experts actually call destination branding. Think about it. When he moved to Juventus, he single-handedly revitalized the global visibility of Italy's Serie A. When he moved to Al Nassr, bam, he instantly elevated the Saudi Pro League onto the world stage. He doesn't just sell apparel. His mere presence literally changes the economic landscape of entire global football markets.
Now, the raw power of this massive, loyal following recently exploded into a totally new arena: YouTube. He launched his channel Cristiano and reached 1 million subscribers in just 90 minutes. 90 minutes! That shattered a world record. In under 24 hours, he smashed past 10 million. Today, he commands over 66 million subscribers. This staggering growth is just living proof of how his off-pitch discipline and massive loyal following directly translate to absolute digital dominance.
But make no mistake, as his team perfectly summarized it, he's not a YouTuber. He's a professional player and then a businessman. Even this record-breaking channel, which is backed by a dedicated staff of 21 people, by the way, is treated as a highly strategic hobby. It's a calculated move to show a new unseen side of his life to his fans. But the really fascinating part? It is managed with the exact same meticulous calculation and precision as his football career. Now, despite all the money, the crazy brand deals, and the literal billions of followers, the core of who he is remains intensely emotional. During Euro 2024, after missing a crucial penalty, he actually broke down in tears on the pitch. Now, some people criticized him, calling it ego. But really, it's about pure passion. His tears didn't stem from what the critics would say. They stemmed from the immense, absolutely suffocating pressure he puts on himself to never, ever let his family, his fans, or his country down. So his legendary status, it isn't magic at all. It is the ultimate product of insane discipline and hard work. It's actually a remarkably repeatable formula. Well, if you have the stamina for it. It's built on relentless curiosity, always asking questions to improve. It's strategic adaptation, changing your methods the exact second the old ones stop working. It's an extreme, almost obsessive competitiveness in absolutely every aspect of life. And finally, it's leading by example, showing up to work hard every single day so his children learn the absolute value of discipline just by watching him. We've seen how a scrawny kid from a humble background completely sacrificed his ego, evolved his methods, and dedicated every waking hour to his craft to become a billion-follower empire. So, here's the question. What are you willing to sacrifice to reach your own Champions League level? I really hope this explainer has given you a fresh perspective on the anatomy of a true machine. Keep learning, keep adapting, and I'll catch you next time.